Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Let me check everything. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon for you all. Good evening if you are in the other side of the world. My name is Eder Porto, and I'm Products and Technology Manager at the Wiki Movimento Brasil. This is a new Wikidata Lab that we are hosting today with the theme of the launch of the quick statements. And here presenting with me is Artur Correia, one of the developers. And I'll invite Artur to the stage. Hello, Artur. Good afternoon. And hello, Doug.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. I am Artur. I have my dog here with me.
Nice. So finally, we are here to present to you to launch the new version of Quick Statements, and I'll start my presentation in a moment. And I want to welcome you all to the YouTube transmission, the Facebook transmission as well. And if you have any questions, please type them in the chat so we can answer them, and we will make pauses to answer the questions in the chat or leave it to the end of the presentation. So you can type it and we will try to answer everything shortly. So let me start the presentation, add it to the stage. So this is our Wikidata Lab number 44. So we are in a really big number of Wikidata Labs. And I remember one of the first Wikidata Labs was about quick statements. I think it was the fourth that we had back in 2017 or 18. I think it was 18. It was the fourth one on how to import bulk data into Wikidata. Oh, the dog laughed. And the comment. So it's good that we are now renewing our presentations to a whole new lot of people that uses Wikidata and works with Wikidata daily. And this is a very loved and very well used tool. So with no further ado, let's begin. So this is presentation, this event that we are here joining today is a Wikidata Lab, and it's promoted, organized by Wikimedia Brazil. We recently had a change of name. We used to be Wiki Movimento Brasil, and now we are Wikimedia Brazil. So kudos to everyone involved. Now a chapter of the Wikimedia Foundation in Brazil. And as an event hosted by Wikimedia Brazil, the friendly space policy applies, and here is the link. I'll type the link in the chat as well, so everyone can see it. EIJ. All right. So, and this is an event also supported because the Quick Statements 3.0 version supported by the Wikimedia Deutschland. And I'm sorry for the noise if you hear anything. Yeah. So the hosts for this event are me. I presented myself earlier, and Artur, that it's one of the developers of the Quick Statements 3.0. together with Miguel Galvis, and now we have a new team working on it. And Artur is also a project assistant in Wikimedia Brazil. And we match photos. So let me give you an introduction. I think that everyone here knows QuickStatements, but for those in the future, or for those that are not too familiar with the tool, let me give you an introduction to it. So when editing Wikidata, we usually do it by the Wikidata interface in the website and desktop or mobile, if you are brave enough to edit mobile on Wikidata. Um, and we do it statement by statement. So every action that we do it manually. But if we are dealing with a large number of statements or a large number of items that we want to edit, add, create, or delete some statement, it becomes costly to do that by hand. So there are tools that edit Wikidata in bulk, or you can add a lot of statements, you can edit a lot of items as well. And one of those, and the most used one, I would make that statement, is QuickStatements. So this is a tool developed by Magnus Mansky, and it's used to optimize and facilitate the process of doing doing the edits on Wikidata. And batches on this tool, the bulk editing can have thousands and 20,000 commands. Each command is let me see. Each command is a set of instructions that you pass to QuickStatements, and those commands create a statement on Wikidata. And a statement, it's composed by an item, the key ID. In an item, a statement, it's composed by a property and a value. So it's a tiered composition on the Wikidata. And Wikidata, it's a database. So basically, this is a way to link the data together. So each item, each key ID has a set of properties and values. Those properties and values can be qualified with information, new or specific information that qualifies that statement, which we call qualifiers. And all of those have a reference. So everything on Wikidata needs a reference. So we have also references. And the reference section of a statement, it's also a PID and a value. So a property and a value. For example, the URL would be a property for the URL and the URL itself. So this is a quick example of what it's the structure of the commands on QuickStatements. And you can use the pipe as a divider between key IDs, PIDs, and values, or you can use the tab, the tab. And each command on QuickStatements goes into a specific one. My screen frozen? No. Everything seems fine for me. Artur, are you okay?
Yes, you are on the slide of quick statements commands, right?
Yes. Oh, João might have a problem in the internet connection. All right. So so here there's an example of, okay, everyone is saying that the screen looks fine. That's great. So João, maybe refresh. Yeah. And on QuickStatements, every command goes into one line or one row of the batch. So if you, for example, have a key ID number of an item, you can add English label, a Portuguese description, a German alias, um, the link for the Portuguese Wikipedia article, and other information, and each one of those goes into one row of that batch. And you can separate them by an enter or pipe. So this gray symbol here, like a vertical bar. You can put it, an enter is two vertical bars, a tab is one vertical bar. And I think we can combine those on the new version as well. And okay, so this is a quick description of what QuickStatement is and how it works and how it integrates with Wikidata. And here we have the slides for the justification for why are we doing this. So why a new version? So the current version that QuickStatements that we have of QuickStatements, the version 2, has a few limitations documented on the help page mostly, and like any other software project, it becomes difficult to maintain the tool and implement new functionalities if the development and the support is rests on just one person or a small group of people. And the development of QuickStatements has been resting in Magnus' shoulders for quite some time. He's the original developer, and we think that he needs a break of those responsibilities. And so we proposed a new version of QuickStatements so everyone can participate in the development. Um, and for that, we propose this project. So we established in the beginning that the community-driven improvements and the new opportunities, such as the integration with the REST API and the new functionalities that were being required by the community, should be the first step that we needed to follow or to do to develop a new version. And this new version, the QuickStatements version 3, addresses key community priorities that were listed in a survey that we promoted last year, and that we prioritize the list of new functionalities based on those inputs, and we are now launching them. So the development it's not closed by it's not closed to the Wikimedia Brazil development team, but it's open for contributions from everyone. So join us on GitHub, do your PRs, and send us and participate in the development of the tool. You are welcome to do that. And here is the link. Maybe if I can grab the link and put it on the, let me see, put it on the chat. Yes, so this is the new version, why we are doing this new version, and these are the featured new key functionalities. We picked a list of the top 6 functionalities to work on this period of 8 months of development. First, the development itself, we needed to keep the pace of the current version of QuickStatements. So everything that it now does should be done in this new version. And then we started the new phase of development that were addressing the new functionalities based on community input through the surveys and the help of QuickStatements. And here we picked the top 6 ones, and they are in order of I think order of priority that we established with this survey: removing qualifiers and references while preserving the statements. And I think everyone here had the experience of doing a batch wrong, or the qualifier goes into the reference, or the reference property goes into the qualifier. And for solving that, as of today, using QuickStatements, we needed to remove the entire statement and then add it correctly. And with that functionality, we will be able to edit, remove qualifier while maintaining the statement and the references intact. The second functionality that we implemented was the adding multiple same value statements with different qualifiers. So there are in the Wikidata modeling items that sometimes the necessity of adding duplicate statements. For example, mayor that has 2 terms, but it's in different times, it's not consecutively. Would be needed to have 2 statements, one with the first term and the second statement with a second term. With QuickStatements version 2, everything would be put together in the same statement. And now we implemented a way to create duplicate I don't know how to say that word in English, but with purpose, create duplicates, real duplicates, and not mistakenly duplicates of statements. The third key functionality, it was one that it's very, it's a pet peeve of mine, that I wasn't able to set rank statements. So doing a value on QuickStatements without the possibility of adding if it is preferred or deprecated, or edit that information in a batch. It was a limitation that really bothered me, but now it's implemented and it's possible. So those are those 3 are the main functionalities that deal with the way that we write statements on QuickStatements. And the other 3 are the way that we see the results of the edits. So 3 with syntax focused, and the other 3 focused on reports, on the way that we see the edits on Wikidata or on QuickStatements. And those are: the fourth one is aggregating editing commands of the same item in one edit. And that facilitates, and Arthur will show how fast this is. But if you have a batch that has thousands and thousands of commands, and you want to edit a few items, the QuickStatements goes one by one, and that's the way that should be with the current version. That's fine. But with the REST API, we can do and we can select here to do it everything in one edit. So basically what we are doing is speeding up the process of those thousands or hundreds of commands in one item alone. The fifth one is improving of the interface error messages. That's something that people complained a lot, that the way that we see the errors, or the errors on syntax errors, basically, on quick statements, it was not clear enough. So we implemented a way that it's clearer. It can have improvements, but that depends on feedback. And the last one is one that it's really precious to me. It was another thing that I was doing as well, but it's something that people really liked when we proposed this idea on the interviews and the survey as well. That was a CSV report of everything that was done in the batch. So basically, if you run a batch on quick statements with this functionality, you receive a report of every error that occurred in this batch, and also you receive a report of everything that was done. Okay, it was run and done. So that will help if you need, for example, to retrieve the key IDs of the items that you created. So now you receive a CSV report with the command that you executed and the key ID that was produced or was edited. So you have information that you can go back to your spreadsheet and reconcile with it. And as I said, we proposed this project in 2024 as a proposal for the software collaboration for Wikidata, and that it's a project for software development in Wikidata and Wikibase ecosystem, and that brings forward movement strategy initiatives funded by the Arcada Fund and organized by Wikimedia Deutschland. And Wikimedia Brazil submitted this project entitled QuickStatements 3.0, and it was submitted in early 2024 and was approved in June. And we started the development right away. As soon as the approval came along, we started the development, built the team, and started developing everything. And you can check the timeline in the meta page. We built let me grab the link here. We build a meta wiki page documenting the whole process, the survey, and we are still updating it, but the timeline is there so you can check what happened in every month of these projects, and keep up and put it on your watched pages so you can see the future developments. And I think for now, no, let me see. We have two new slides here, two other slides, but I will pass these two slides for Artur, and then Artur will take over the presentation to introduce us to the new functionalities and display them.
Okay, so hello everyone, and thanks for the user that commented what was the QID of what I am drinking, so you can check it out. It's Q203540, so you can have yours or your coffee. And so I am one of the developers of the tool, and for the software development, we chose the Python language with the Django web framework, because Django is very popular, very easy to use and to maintain, and it allows more community members to contribute with the tool since it's very popular, very taught on many websites. And for the user interface, we chose HTMX, which is an interactivity library that empowers the UI through HTML. Using that, we didn't need a separate repository or separate JavaScript frontend. We're only using the Django web framework with HTMX on top of it. So that makes the development faster. And to interact with Wikidata, we chose the modern Wikibase REST API, which is a new API being developed that uses the most modern way to describe their API with OpenAPI, uses the HTTP verbs. So that's very nice to use and easy to use for us to interact with Wikidata. And for the documentation, we applied with the project for Outreach. Outreach is an internship program geared towards the participation of underrepresented communities in the technical industry. So it's a really nice program. You can check it out. And the selected intern was Onicha Nirhovo, a DevOps and software developer in Nigeria. I think he is in the chat. He said hello. And the documentation produced by him is user-friendly and contains many videos recorded by Onicha showing how to use the tool. So that's really, really nice. And you can check it out on our MetaWiki page. So let's edit on Wikidata. So let's use the new QuickStatements tool. And now we separated some examples to showcase our new features. So let's do that. I will share my screen. Let's see how that works. Present. Okay, infinite screen. So I don't know if you are seeing the other slides at the same time.
No.
No? Okay, so I will pick up the comments here from the slides. So the first thing we are going to do before editing, let's log in. So you can check it out, QuickStatements on qs-dev.toolforge.org. You can click here on the upper right corner to log in and sign in with your Wikimedia account. So just click here, and we are using OAuth 2. So just allow QuickStatements to use your credentials to edit for you. And you can see that I am now logged in. And to use QuickStatements, you have to be an auto-confirmed user. So it already shows me on my profile that I am an auto-confirmed user. So I can now go here, new batch, or on the front page, click this button, new batch, to create a batch. So to create the batches, you can select the command format. There's V1, which is the traditional one, which we are going to use. There's also the CSV syntax. You can specify a custom batch name, but you don't have to if you don't. And there are two toggles here that I'm going to explain. The first one is block batch if a command fails. So it will stop processing of a batch if a command gives an error. So by default, it won't. So if you have like 5 commands, the second one throws an error, the batch will continue processing by default. But if you click here and the second command gives an error, it will stop. And the second toggle, is to stop the QuickStatements from combining multiple edits on the same item into just one. So maybe if you're having some bugs or you want separate edits, but I suggest that you don't. And so you can, by default, it will combine multiple commands on the same entity into one Wikidata edit. So that does not make the edit table on the database huge. So it's best for the ecosystem to combine those commands. So let's start. So the first example we're going to do is add a statement with qualifiers and references. So this is just a basic command that works on the original QuickStatements as well. We're going to add 1 as the number of speakers of Brasileiro language. So let's open here on December of 28th of 2016, and obtain it through counting and reference in the Brazilian newspaper. So let's see how that works. This is the Brasileiro language QID. This is the number of speakers property, and this is the statement's value 1. And then we have two qualifiers. This one, it specifies on which date that value is relevant. So the number of speakers 1 is valid on this date. And this second qualifier here is how that measurement was obtained. So that is useful for number of speakers. It was obtained through counting because it's just one. And there are two references here. One, the URL to the Brazilian newspaper, and the second reference part, the date in which it was retrieved, which is today. So let's go. I'm going to copy here and go to new batch and add one as number of speakers to the Ziggurat language. Let's just create. So by default, when you try to create a batch, it will be on preview. So you can see if we are definitely targeting Ziggurat. We're going to set the statement value and add some qualifiers. You can see the statement value here with the property, and we can click Save and Run Batch to process it. So when I click Save and Run Batch, it will start processing, and there are background workers processing those batches. So we'll have to wait a little bit, usually around a few seconds. So it's already running and done. Okay, so we ran the command. Now we can open the Ziggurat language. Let's see how it works. And you can already see that we have this new button here, download report. If you click here, you're going to download a CSV table of all the commands you run, what are their status, if there's an error or not, and if there is a custom error message as well, and which entity it was targeting. So you can go here to Ziggurat language, and you can see here that we have number of speakers, writers or signers, one, point in time, that date that I told you, determination method counting, and one reference with the URL and the date it was retrieved, which is today. Okay, we can even click here just to see if it is still online today, but it definitely is. Okay, so, but how do you know that it was me that edited that? You can go here to view history, check that I have made an edit here in batch 121 using QuickStatements 3. And you can see here that it was definitely me that added that statement. So yes, so this is how it works. Now let's go to the new features. And if you have any questions, please talk in the chat and I will try to answer them. So now let's remove a qualifier, which is a new feature. We're going to switch to Arthur Conan Doyle. And there's a statement that he is described in the Larousse Encyclopedia. And the qualifier is defined as reference URL instead of the URL property. So the P859 reference URL should not be used in qualifiers. For that, we use P2699. So let's try to search here. So you can see here that he is described by source, Larousse Encyclopedia Online. And we have a qualifier with reference URL. You can even see that there's this down arrow here. A property scope constraint. It says the reference URL should not be used in this location as a qualifier. The only valid location for this property is as reference. So let's fix that. And you can see that there's another qualifier here, section, verse, paragraph, or clause, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And we're going to remove this qualifier. And you're going to see that this other qualifier is still intact. Okay. So first, let's remove that qualifier. So let's go here and remove property reference URL qualifier. Let's go. Save and run batch. You can see here that the type of command is remove qualifier. It's already run. Okay, so it shows an error. And it says here, no qualifiers with given value. So let's see why that is happening. So let's see, reference URL. Let's try to copy that. And let's see if that is what is working. Maybe I have mistaken one of the QIDs. So that's a normal thing to happen in QuickStatements. Maybe you use the wrong QID or wrong property ID. So let's try again. And we can see here that the error that happened is a very helpful error. It says that there are no qualifiers with that given value. So let's see if we can fix that. So let's just copy that. So let's see, Arthur Conan Doyle, Q35610, Q35610, okay. Let's go to Larousse. Described by source P1343, P1343, okay. So this is the QID for the Larousse encyclopedia. Let's check that. Let's see if that is so. Okay. Yes, it's the same. And the reference URL P854. Oh, that's it. Okay. So P854 and here's P859. Okay, so let's fix that. So that's usual QuickStatements experience. So let's go. Let me just confirm the reference URL. And let's just see if it is the same. Remember to put in double quotes. Okay, so okay, it's the same. So now that I fixed the qualifier property, let's see how that goes. Save and run batch. Now it should work. So you can see that how the error message helped me debug what was happening. It said that there is no qualifier, so there must be something wrong on my command. Okay, so now it worked. We can refresh the page and see here that the qualifier was removed, and we have the original qualifier here intact. So now let's add the qualifier again, but with the correct property. Hello, Eder.
Arthur.
Yes.
We have a question by Bart Magnus in the chat. So can QuickStatements 3 also run in the background, or should you leave your computer on with the browser open and active?
Great question. It always runs on background. So you can always click Save and Run Batch and shut down your computer. It will work. So it always runs on the background. And we want that to be the default experience, and that you can always run your batches, especially small batches, fast, so that you don't have to wait a long time. Like I did here, like around 10 seconds or so, or maybe 15 seconds, it should start running. Or maybe if we have like a lot of people making multiple batches, that's something we want to test on the future. So it will always run the background.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have another question by Biodiversity Informatics. QuickStatements 2 has the option to switch between Wikidata and Wikidata test. Is this possible here as well? And this would be useful in particular if people just want to try the new version.
Yes, that's a very important feature. It's in our backlog. We want to do that, but it's currently not possible. Currently, it's only targeting the real Wikidata. And to test using the real Wikidata, you can use the Wikidata sandboxes. So there are some special Wikidata items which you can test it out with them. So you can just search on Wikidata sandbox, and use those as your main QID. So we can just, let's fix here on the slides as well, 854. So we have to add that URL that we removed, right? So let's add with the correct property, P2699. So let's do that. And new batch, add URL again with correct property. So let's go, create, save and run batch. And we can wait a few seconds. It's running. Okay, let's go and refresh the page. So now we have URL, the correct property, and no errors here showing property constraints. So, yay. Let's go to the second feature, remove reference. We're going to do the same thing, but in reverse. So we're going to Mexico now. So we're going to Mexico City, and the property P2699 URL should not be used in references. For that, we use P864. The same mistake again here. we're going to remove a reference that backs the elevation above sea level. So let's go to elevation above sea level. We have here the elevation and the reference, but that reference is using the URL property. And there's a warning here. The property URL should not be using this location as a reference. The only valid locations are as main value or as a qualifier. So let's do the same thing. Remove that reference using this URL here and add it again with the correct property. And let's go. So let's remove the reference. And you can see here that the value is 2240 plus or minus 1 meter. So that's how you write those values with upper and lower bounds in quick statements. You can add a tilde 1, so it's just plus or minus 1. And U and the QID for the unit. So 11573 is the unit for meter. So let's do that. Let's go to quick statements. You can close Arthur Conan Doyle. Let's go here, remove reference. And someone is changing from normal rank to preferential rank. Yes, it's going to be done soon. And Ainali is asking, can you do both?
So we have these two questions. I'll put Jan question first. Can you do both those edits in the same batch? I think the remove ref and the add ref.
Yes, you can. Let's go then. Let's do this. Okay, so we're going to do that on the same batch. So we're going to remove that reference and add the reference again. You can see here that we're using the same value to target the same statement. And here I should fix the property. It's the same mistake as before, using 9 instead of 4. Yes, thank you, João. Yes, okay, so this should work. And let's here switch reference property. So let's go create. And you can see here on the preview that the first command is to remove a reference. And the second command is set statement. The set statement is a type of command that can do multiple things like adding qualifiers, adding references, and it just sets the current value for the statement while it's also adding qualifiers and references. So let's go, save and run batch. And both of these commands, since they are on the same entity, they will run at the same time. You can see that it was running too. So they were running at the same time and they combined on the same edit. So let's see if this worked. And yay, it worked. So elevation above sea level. We now have the correct property for the reference. And on the history page, you can see that I only performed one edit because both of those commands, since they are targeting Mexico City, combined into one Wikidata edit. We can see here what I did in that edit. We just switched one reference for another. So yay. So here, to remove qualifiers and references, just to recap, you put remove qual or remove ref. And the first triplet is to say where are you going to remove the qualifier or the reference, or what that means is from which statement you're going to remove the reference or the qualifier. So that is just a locator. And the second part, the PID value or the SID value, is to tell what is going to be removed in your command. Okay, so let's continue. And here now let's modify statement rank. In the Northern Sami language, in the number of speakers, we're going to set the statement with the total number of speakers as preferred. The other values are restricted to countries. So let's check that. Here on Northern Sami, we have 4 values for the number of speakers. 3 of them are restricted to some countries. So we have Norway number of speakers, Finland number of speakers, and Sweden number of speakers. So we're going to set this one, which is the total number of speakers, as preferred. you can see that this flag here is the required qualifier for determination method, the one that we put on the Resigaro language. Currently, it doesn't have here the determination method. I invite you to add that. We're not going to mess with that now. We're going to only set the statement rank of this one. So let's go. It's a simple syntax, and we're only going to select which statement we're going to modify the rank. So this is the statement, Northern Sami, number of speakers, and the value 25,700. And to set that rank as preferred, we will use R+. So let's go.
While
Hello.
you are adding this command, I have a question from Andy. Can we use wildcards?
Wildcards. No, currently not. And that's an interesting question. I wonder how that would work, but currently not. So let's hear increase rank of total number of speakers. And let's go. So Northern Sami, P1098. Oh, I closed the Sami item. Let's just click here. Let me go there, number of speakers. Here, so we're going to increase this rank here. Save and run batch. Running. Okay, done. And we're going to refresh the page. So you can see that is green. So this statement right here with the total number of speakers without restrictions is now the preferred value for this statement for Northern Sami. And to modify ranks, you can put the where, the QID, PID value, and how you describe which rank do you want. You can use R+, R-, R0, or R preferred, R deprecated, or R normal. So you can both use the plus, minus, 0, or the name of the rank, preferred, deprecated, or normal. You can you have this both ways of editing ranks. And this here tells QuickStatements from which statement do you want to modify the rank. Okay, I think it's all right. Okay, so now let's create a statement with a value that already exists. So we're going to fix one of the head of government statement in the Calais city. So let's go. We're traveling to a lot of countries today. You can see here on the head of government for Calais that we have Jacques Van Roux, and there's 2 end times and 2 start times. And there's a lot of warnings here. And it basically is saying here that we shouldn't have like true end times or true start times. And so let's fix that. So you can see that there's no other Jacques Van Roux here. So we're going to add another one and fix those end or start times. So that can happen if this guy right here was head of government in 2 intervals, but they are just disjointed. So you can't put like the start of the first and the end of the last, because in the middle, he wasn't head of government. So we need to choose statements for that. And we're going to use the same reference imported from French Wikipedia on this date, this import URL. We're going to use the same reference. We can even go here and just to make sure, we can see here that Jacques Van Roux was head of government on these dates and on these dates. So 2 disjoint intervals. So let's go and fix that. So how we're going to fix that? First, let's remove from some qualifiers. So let's choose the more recent start and end times to remove. So let's choose the end time of 1969 and the start time of 1959. Let's remove these 2 right here. and remember those to put in the new statement. So let's do that. Let's remove those qualifiers. Let's go here, removing duplicate and start times. Okay, so this is how you do dates on quick statements. You have the plus, year, month, date, the time, and the precision, and /11 is the date precision. So let's go, create, remove two qualifiers. Running, and done. So let's refresh. And we can see here that now it's fixed. Those two more recent qualifiers are gone. And let's remember then to put in the new statement. So let's go. And you can see, since it was on the same entity, that I only did one edit here. Only one edit with my name here, removing those both qualifiers. So let's go to our dear friend here. And now let's add a duplicate statement. It's duplicate in quotes because it's not the exact same statement, but it uses the same value. So now you can do that. And to do that, you have to do a plus at first. Because if you don't have the plus, it will just add those qualifiers and references to the original, to the current statement. But when you do the plus, it will force create the new statement, even if there is already a statement with that value. So now let's do and put this. So it's a lot of commands here. So we have the head of government, the same person here, and the start and end qualifiers with the same dates that we removed. And here's the reference that I just copied from the original statement. So imported, retrieved, Wikimedia import URL. So those are the same references as the original statement. So let's go add statement. Oh, okay, so that's my description. And let's go. So it worked. Save and run patch. Now let's wait a few seconds. Oh, you can also see here that the name of the type of command is create statement instead of set statement, because create statement will always create statements. So if you just put this command like 5 times, it will create 5 new statements. So be careful when using the plus. So let's refresh the page. And there's a new Jacques Vaudroux here with the start and end times that we removed and the same reference as before. So you can use the plus to create statements when there is already a statement with the same value. So just add a plus on the beginning. And that's it. Those were the new features that we implemented on QuickStatements 3. And I will pass around the word again to Weather. Thanks.
All right, so let me catch up with the slides here. So I think Artur, you can maybe present the other 3, the statement, the priority, where it shows the error on before running. I think that was displayed, but if you can present to us the report, the CSV report, I think that's good.
Okay, let's present the CSV report. Let's see how that would work. From which command? The one that gave an error or other ones?
Maybe the one that you removed the qualifier. This
Okay.
last one.
From Jacques Vaudroux. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Share screen. So this is the patch. last batches. This is the one, removing duplicate and start times from the city of Calais. And when the batch is finished, after the batch is done, I'm sharing, right? Yes, I'm sharing. There's the new button that appears, which is download report. And currently, it's only available to the batch owner. So since I am the owner of the batch, I can see this button to download the report. And when I click here, it will download a CSV. So it downloaded right here on my upper left corner, batch-127-report.csv. And now I will open in a spreadsheet. Let me see if that works. So yes, it's using the comma. So, okay, so this is a CSV. You can see here that we have, let me increase the zoom. So we have the batch ID, the index of the command, which operation, in this case, it was remove qualifier, the status of the command, done, both went correctly, the error and the message. So this can be filled if there's an error. So you can have like the type of the error here and maybe a custom error message if that is needed. So if your command is done, those truths should be empty. The entity ID that was targeted on your command. So this is also useful when you create a command or create an item. When you create an item, this will be populated with the entity ID of the item that was created, and the raw input or the exact command that you entered on the page. So you can use this to go back to your spreadsheet and match which commands went correctly, which threw an error, which entities you created, and so on.
Great. Thank you, Arthur, for presenting the new functionalities. We have another question by Bart. Let me put it here. Maybe a question for the end of the session. Does QuickStatements 3 also work on other Wikibase instances other than Wikidata?
Yes, it works, but it's currently only possible to target one Wikibase instance. So in our server for QS-dev, we are targeting Wikidata. So you can run QuickStatements 3 locally if you want and target your Wikibase instance. But currently on QS-dev, only Wikidata is being targeted.
Great. Thank you, Arthur. And that brings to my to the next point of this presentation, that is identifying what's next. So we have delivered here a new version of QuickStatements with new functionalities, and we invite everyone to test them. But what's next in our bucket list? So some things that were asked here in the presentation, the answer was it's not currently possible, and we want to change that. So for the future of QuickStatements, what we have in mind on the development part. So I think the first step to the tool is to test the scalability of the tool on ToolForge. That's a tool that it is largely used by the community. So it has a lot of data that it's inputted into Wikidata via QuickStatements, and a lot of people use it at the same time and concurrently with each other. So we need to guarantee that everyone that's using QuickStatements can use at the time that they want without any interruptions. The next part is the new functionalities. So there are still a list of functionalities that people want and people desire that were not feasible to be done during the period that we started developing the tool, and we will now target with an extension of this project to tackle those limitations or new functionalities that people want, to try to develop them as well. The other part is the maintenance. So maintain the tool, bug fixes, and everything that people will, now that we have a link for the tool, people will have access, public access to the tool, so they can test it and give feedback. And we will share the feedback link for you, with you shortly. Then we have the development itself. So involve and help more developers to contribute, everyone that it's capable of developing and has that ability, that those skills of development, can join the efforts of this tool and make a PR pull request, or actively working on the maintenance and new functionalities as well. And the last part of the future, for the future here, is the user stories. That's something that we have been working based on interviews with people during these months, and now we have been collecting and structuring those user profiles to share in the documentation page as well. So those user profiles can be used for the future development and taking into account people's needs and very unique routines. For example, if you are a glam contributor, if you are very specifically articles contributor, how is your workflow on Wikidata, and how do you use QuickStatements? And for the future, what else? It's a question for you all that are watching. What do you want for QuickStatements? So all those questions can be the questions and suggestions can be shared in the meta page that we prepared for the let me go to the next slide. So to the talk page on meta, here's the link. Let me put it here. And this presentation is on Wikimedia Commons. You can go back there. We share the link on the chat here. So this is the talk page link. So you can share your questions, send messages saying, "Oh, there's a bug here," and we can work on it. So the development team can work on resolving those, and share your impressions and your desires for the future of this tool. And here's the link for the tool itself. It's on ToolForge, and it's currently with the KeyS -dev. But in the future, if everything goes right and the tool works, the feedback is good, we can work with Magnus to change to the quickstatements.toolforge.org. So for now, it's still in the development phase. I would call it a beta phase, almost an alpha phase, because we have the functionalities working, and what we need now is feedback. So we invite everyone to test the tool, to give feedback on the meta page, and document everything that you want, and for the future developments of the tool. And I think that's it. We have huge thanks to give to Wikimedia Deutschland, to the Arcadia Fund, specifically for Magnus Mansky for developing this tool, and many others that we use in the movement. I would like to thank as well the survey respondents, the interviewees that we did for the user stories, the developers represented here by Artur, and the testers that I think we can include all of you that will test the tool in the next days, in the next weeks. And a huge thanks for everyone that it's watching and will be watching this presentation. Thank you so much. And this is a new project that we are very proud of. And I hope you find the needs that you have in your work on Wikidata filled by this tool, this new version of the tool. So thank you, everyone. Here are our contacts, and see you all in the future.
Bye bye.
Thank you.